Amy, can I share a secret with you?
Please,
You promise not to tell anybody?
not a soul.
Okay. Well, Robert Langdon is back, and he just discovered an ancient artifact that has a new code in it that will unlock the secret to immortality. But an evil tech corporation will do anything to take it from him. And that's just one of the many secrets that are uncovered in Dan Brown's new book, The Secret of Secrets, which is available now in bookstores all across the world. I think you can say that this secret has officially been revealed. And to honor this publication, Amy and I will be putting little Dan Brown-esque clues into this episode so you can be like a little Robert Langdon and pretend you're searching for stuff. Now here's AMY with more news.
It's available now?
Available now anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world has this beautiful The Secret of Secrets book sitting on the shelves waiting like a treasure to be opened.
Oh my God. Lucky for him, I just finished Ripley #2, so I'm ready.
You've got a little space on your shelf for a new Dan Brown.
Always.
Robert Langdon has been kind of fuming since he got the other villain got the upper hand in Kings and Demons in the third one. And so he's been sort of running around Prague, I think sort of stewing and fuming, but he stumbles on a huge new mystery. And I think it's supposed to be one of the best Robert Langdon mysteries yet.
Wow, someone in power is always trying to stop him from revealing these ancient secrets.
I know, and it's so cool. I mean, for him personally, as a history professor or whatever he is, to sort of always when he goes somewhere, he kind of gets one of these huge, big clues. It's so fun. But this one, apparently, it's called The Secret of Secrets because you barely can even comprehend how kind of secretive this whole thing is going to be.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll wake up to a phone call where his help is needed immediately.
I think so too. I'm still on page. I still am in the foreword where Dan Brown he's kind of like saying like I was in Prague or whatever. But I think in the first chapter, I'm pretty sure it's going to open with him being like, Robert, we need you right away.
Robert rolled over in his hotel room, checked his Mickey Mouse watch. It was 4:30 a.m. Who could be calling?
Oh my God! If that's not the first sentence, then Dan Brown, what the hell are you doing? He's yeah. So I guess I'm really proud of him, and 4 books is nothing to sneeze at for Robert Langdon, and you could almost imagine Tom Hanks sort of putting on the Robert Langdon wig, getting ready
That
to
lace front is coming out.
Yeah, I mean he's been in 3 times already,
Yeah.
so I imagine he's kind of champing at the bit to sort of get that roll
One
back
of
in order.
the strangest franchises.
Yeah, it's really, you don't think about it a lot, but he's really sort of similar to Indiana Jones, but more of sort of buttoned up, professorial, and he doesn't
Yeah.
get in too many dirty, Indiana Jones gets really dirty, like, and he's sort of more like, he's like, oh, let's go to a church or let's go to a museum. You know what I mean? It's not really like he's like crawling in dirt.
We'll see about this one.
Right. It's possible. But anyway, I've been sort of just having Dan Brown fever over here. But I know that you kind of went away to Lake Tahoe. You sort of got away out of the city where Dan Brown's sort of been having his whirlwind of press. So tell me about
Great
this
transition.
Tell me about this trip that you went on, because I think you found a little mystery and some clues on your trip as well.
Yes, I did go to the beautiful Lake Tahoe, sometimes in California, sometimes in Nevada.
Holy shit.
I was staying in the California side, but luckily my friends cared enough to indulge me, and we drove an hour to the Nevada side to go to Lisa Vanderpump's Wolf restaurant in the Caesars. I forget what it's called. Whatever the Caesars is called in Reno.
Oh, really? It's attached to a Caesars.
It's in I didn't realize this. It's just like literally in a casino.
That Caesars deal. Oh my God. Elisa is laughing to the bank at this Caesars Corporation deal that she's got going, and every single Caesars. Oh my God. I have so many questions before you get into it. Lake Tahoe, Nevada, California, is there some sort of rivalry that happens between those two people because they're sort of claiming Lake Tahoe in these different states?
They were just like a totally different vibe. Like one was like there's a Margaritaville and like casinos, and it was more like what people come to gamble. And then where I was more like nature and like down home, like chilling, like riding bikes and like renting boats kind of a thing.
Do you think that's sort of representative of the differences of these two states?
Wow, we've never been more divided.
So tell me, okay, so you pull up to Wolf by Vanderpump, you got your friends in tow. Tell me about this beautiful establishment that I'll probably never go to in my life. I'm just being honest.
No,
No,
don't say that.
I don't think I'll be able to, really, looking at my schedule. I don't think it's going to happen, but tell me about this and for Turtle Time listeners.
Yeah. So you pull up, there's like a big wolf outside. You come
A statue or
like on the wall, like a image. And then you go in, it's immediately Nick Elaine apparent, like every single lighting fixture has like 10 different things going on. There's crystals, there's gears, there's chains. A lot of the motif in the restaurant was chains dangling, which I was like, I guess to tame the wolf.
Oh, totally. Well, I'm imagining, if I can even peek into Nick Elaine's brain, that they've been trying to wrangle the wolves in some way and restrain them, but Wolf by Vanderpump is where the wolves have no restraint and are sort of running wild. You told me that Nick Elaine, that Lisa gave him a sort of carte blanche for this one, right?
Yeah.
There had been a little more, I think, restraint on Nick Elaine for previous restaurants, and this one was where she really let his brain unfurl.
Let him howl. Right at the entrance, I'm looking at my photos to jog my memory. The entrance has like a big globe light that looks like a moon. So, howl at the moon.
Oh shit. Sorry. I was like, well, sun, moon. Moon definitely is way more representative of the thing that wolves like.
But yeah, like wolves fucking everywhere. The table that I was sitting at, which was like kind of a lounge, like, it was like two couches facing each other with like a coffee table in between. So we didn't like request that, but it was fine. But, luckily we were getting appetizers and we weren't like eating like a steak or something, because I don't know how I would have done that.
Yeah, because sort of awkward to like have a big meal with that on that little table.
Yeah. And like, but everywhere you look, there's wolves. The TV in front of me just had ambient video of wolves in slow motion for like the 2 hours that I was there. There's trees, like fake indoor trees, gears galore, like I said, and also like Lisa personal photos. Like there was one of her holding baby Teddy, and I'm like, it's kind of interesting because I have to assume that a lot of people go there and don't know who the hell she is, because it's just like the casino restaurant. So whereas Sir, I feel like no one's going there if they don't know who she is, or Pump. Tom Tom, I kind of feel like people could potentially go there just because of its location and that it's like kind of a vibe. This felt like that, whereas like I think a lot of people might go there not knowing her, so I thought it was interesting that she had pictures of herself everywhere.
Yeah, they would probably, though, like even the most sort of rube who showed up there when they went to Wolf by Vanderpump, they'd probably be like, I guess this might be this person Vanderpump that everybody's been talking about, because the two things are wolves, and then you're like, oh, I guess I can kind of imagine who this person is. How many photos of her?
A lot. I mean, there was one of her like skiing. Then also there's just like the promo photos where she's like with a wolf.
Those are beautiful. I think I'm going to need everybody to go to YouTube right around whatever time this is. That was a wonderful photo. So ambient wolves on the TV, sort of slow motion running, kind of like, did it look well produced, or was it just like videos she might have found?
Yeah, it luckily wasn't, I don't think, AI. It could have been, licensed. I don't know that she went out there onto like a tundra and got wolf video, but I was entertained. And then a lot of the menu is wolf themed. Like it would be like doggy bites, or like there was one that a shot called doggy style, which I thought was kind of gross.
She always has one sexual really sexual drink name. I'm looking at some of these too, and you told me it's wet your wolf whistle is the category of these drinks. There's the Huff and Puff, the Big Bad Wolf, so a lot of plays on that sort of
yeah, the shared plates are for the pack.
Well, this must be the most wolf-centric restaurant in American history.
I think so. A martini, the Dirty Dog, Big Bad Wolf, Cry Wolf, Huff and Puff.
I mean, oh my God! And then tell me how what when your friends that you took to across the state lines to go here, did they enjoy these food and drinks, even possibly no matter what their affiliation with Lisa or Bravo was?
Yeah, we actually did. We all got espresso martinis because we had a big day and we needed to revive. So that worked. Those were good. They had like a bunch of shit in them, like a donut hole and like a cookie, and like I was like, get these out of here. But
Really?
the drink was good.
So a couple of them had donut holes in them.
And then I was interested in this one, but then it got a little too gross. There was a martini, the Dirty Dog, which is an everything bagel martini for $23.95. It's work dog, dry gin, dry vermouth, olive brine, blue cheese stuffed olives, Tahoe Bagel Company, everything bagel chip. But then here's the thing. I'm gonna barf. Blue cheese crema.
Really? I'm looking at these ingredients and I'm just imagining a huge everything bagel kind of dunked in vodka or whatever a martini is. $24. Yeah, blue cheese. Well, you know what? Okay, I'm not a martini person. I never even had one, I don't think, in my life. But that stuffed olive, sometimes they do try to shove a little or stuff a little blue cheese in an olive, so maybe it's not going to blow your hair back.
But like crema, like is it drizzled on top of the alcohol?
Crema is kind of just one of those Tom Sandoval-esque drink words that I think they use to just say, "Hey, we stuffed a bunch of blue cheese in an olive." Don't you think?
But it's in addition to the blue cheese olive.
Okay. I bet blue cheese. You know what I mean? I bet if you just you didn't get this one, right?
No, I was interested because I get my martinis with gin, so I was like, that could be interesting. But then they took it too far. So then we got champagne, and we also did a shot ski.
Oh my God. And what was the reaction like when you guys all did that?
They loved it, and they took our video. They seemed like there's a lot of little gimmicks, I think, like that, which I like. You know, I'm only going to a Lisa Vanderpump restaurant for a gimmick, so I'm like, yeah, bring me a shot ski. But they were like big. They were almost like, what's the next thing up from a shot glass? Like a what you would
like next step up from a shot
like
glass.
what you would drink like a little whiskey out of or something. Like they were like
I keep
big.
thinking thimble, but that's smaller than a shot glass.
Wrong direction.
Yeah.
But it was like a mixed shot, you know, like it wasn't just the alcohol. It like was a little mini cocktail almost. So it was a lot of liquid to all drink at the same time. And then it was also, we got the tequila one. I don't even know what the mix was, but it was also spicy. So you were like guzzling it all at the same time. You can't let the shot ski down until you're done. So you're like, oh, this is a lot. And then it was spicy. So it was kind of like aggressive, but it was fun.
Yeah. And then someone's just sitting there after they already drank their thing, and you're waiting for someone on the other end to finish, and you still got that big shot glass in your mouth. Did people cheer when you all did it?
Not a full cheer, but I think people were like, that looks fun.
Oh, really?
We also howled.
Oh,
like
my God.
Wolves.
I would have cheered. And I'm going to ask this, but I assume the answer is no. No Bravo celebrities popping around.
No. Although this is separate, but we rented a boat one day and we found out that our boat driver, who is like, I don't know how old he was, like next gen NYC age,
all right,
grew up with Gia Giudice.
No way. Oh my God. What did they say about that?
He said he loved them all, that family. It was like pre-jail stuff, like that. He just said they were nice.
Well, that's a huge win for the Giudices. A person in Lake Tahoe who grew up with them said they are all nice and wonderful. Well, that's good. I mean, so you didn't see a Bravo celebrity in Wolf by Vanderpump, but you did see someone in the Bravo universe peripherally. I was going to say, just if Lisa did want, one notable to be there, she could send Max there for 6 months out of the year and have him sort of, work there or whatever, and people would be like, oh my God, well, there is some, relation to Lisa here.
Yeah, maybe Garcelle's son could go manage.
He might want a Lake Tahoe experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he might still work at that Au Paris one.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Well, you just gave me sort of Bravo restaurant fever, I guess I'll call it, because we're getting ready for BravoCon, and there's a couple of those. In Vegas, I think there's two or three Lisa establishments that I have not yet tried, so I can't wait.
It's true. But there was another restaurant we went to the following night that also had a shot ski. And I was like, damn, it's not safe out here for me because I can't resist.
Oh my God. Do you think a sort of, I don't want to even say this, but sort of I'm thinking in Willy Wonka terms, which I shouldn't, but like, do you think there was some sort of Lake Tahoe-esque person that was running around and saw Wolf by Vanderpump, sort of like the clout that was coming to it, and they said, hey, this is taking over Nevada and California. Let's start doing this over at our restaurant?
I think, because to me, I had only just heard of shot skis from Watch What Happens Live, but I think it permeates ski culture historically.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm so clued into this one example of shot skis, but they probably love skiing all the time, and so doing a shot off a ski is nothing, to them.
They don't think twice.
Well, that's great. That's huge. Oh, okay. Final question about this. If you were given a Yelp review, I don't know if you do those. What would be your star rating? And do you have anything that would be cutting that star rating down if it's not a 5?
Is Yelp 5 stars?
Yelp is total 5. 4 is like great.
Okay. I think I would do 4.
Okay.
This is not her fault. It's always how it is at casinos, but like the bathrooms in the casino, you have to leave the restaurant. I don't like that.
Oh my God. And you're talking casino toilets are notoriously
actually
heinous.
It was a nice bathroom, but it was like, I don't like having to leave the restaurant. Like, what if I just want to go like powder my nose or something?
Yeah, I see. So you're just talking. Oh, I totally understand. So you're saying just the inconvenience of having to say, like, I got to go find the toilet, leaving the restaurant, going to a casino
don't make me
floor.
go to a second location. Like, come on.
I was gonna say, whenever I go to a casino bathroom, there's always people gambling in them, which I don't like. It's not
in the toilet. They're like playing roulette in the toilet.
Which is like kind of odd or whatever, because you just want to use it as a normal toilet. But well, okay, so one with that, so you're gonna really knock a full star.
I mean, the food was good, like better than expected, but like I wouldn't go there for the food,
right?
Without all else included.
Right. But there is, so I mean, you said, I think for me, what really resonated was how many wolves there were around, and seeing that, being in an environment where a bunch of wolves and wolf themed stuff is going on, that's just kind of a novelty already. It's huge.
They kept the promise of the premise.
For sure. I mean, look at some of these drink names. Like
every chair was like fur. There was a girl in there with a German Shepherd. Like, I think it's dogs allowed.
Oh, that is so cool.
I
mean, dogs. Dogs, dogs are are very close. In the what's that called? The
their DNA.
Dogs. You know what? You just gave me You just made me even more excited for a little peek at that Vanderpump hotel that's supposedly coming out, because that is, I've heard Lisa gave Nick Elaine even more. There was a couple like Caesar's restrictions on Wolf by Vanderpump, but I think that if I know Lisa and Nick Elaine, when they have a full hotel to sort of run rampant in, they're going to go absolutely nuts. So I'm really excited about that next stage.
Yeah. We were lucky. When I talked about it last on the podcast, I was under the conclusion that we had to do this bachelorette package. Like, that's how it was on wherever my friend made the reservation, like Resi or whatever. But then when they got there, they never mentioned it. And so we never mentioned it. And we just got to be normal and not get ripped off. So it was great.
But maybe that still had a residue of that's why you sat at that table with that coffee table on it.
Possibly. But yeah, we just got a crudité, artichoke dip, mac and cheese, the wolf bread.
Whoa! I gotta stop asking questions pretty soon. But what constitutes, if you think wolf bread, I'm like, what's in there? A very hearty
I think
bread.
It was like cheesy.
That sounds about right.
And a salad. I think it was a Caesar. Oh. And then we got this massive cinnamon roll that I didn't even have because I was like drinking.
Wolf roll?
Yeah, it was like puppy paws roll.
Wow. I mean, okay. Well, great. And so you sampled, this 4-star isn't coming out of nowhere. You sampled about 4 dishes or 5 dishes.
No, it was
a lot
good.
Of drinks.
Like, it was like satisfactory. It was, But again, we didn't have entrees, so I feel like that would have been the true test. She did have goat cheese balls, and I didn't order them because I was like, I don't want those.
Of course, we're tired of those. Well, great. Well, Lisa, another huge win for Lisa. Lisa, you had a couple huge losses this year in terms of your character, but now this is a huge win. This is a huge win.
Shots fired.
No, of course not. No, I don't mean that. I just mean this is a big win for Lisa. A full 4-star, bordering on 5. That's great. Well, I got to tell you a little bit of news that I heard right before we started recording. I got on TikTok again because I said, I got to start doing shit. My life is, in
this
shambles.
Is the perfect time to get back online.
Totally. I'm ready. I do a really quick scroll. My algorithm's actually pretty good. It's like rap news, LA restaurants, and then anything I don't like, I skip really quick. But anyway, I got back on TikTok, and I'm like, whoa, news is coming at me fast. Bravo News, because they know me a little bit. And I heard Andy on Sirius XM, Radio Andy, and he was talking to John Hill or Jeff Lewis. I don't know which one it was. But he said that they asked him about RHONY. And he said, did you hear a whiff of this at all?
Maybe, but tell me.
He said, we are casting right now still. So we're like a year already delayed on this show. It's been in the works something is going on with RHONY. We don't know what. And he admitted that there is a pretty major cast shakeup going on. So it sounds like a few people might be kept, but a lot of people are going to be fired or let go. And then John Hill or Jeff Lewis said, 4 cast members possibly, and Andy goes, I cannot confirm nor deny, but he didn't explicitly state, no, it is not 4. So it made me think major cast shakeup, which I guess we assumed, but it was nice to hear from Andy that they know that RHONY was sort of pretty in turmoil quality wise based off last season, and so they're doing a major overhaul. It sounds like. I
guess that's good news. I don't know. My spirit is so damp for that show that I'm like, I'll see it when I see it. Like, I don't even care about the updates until, it's good to know that there's some progress being made, but I'm like, tell me when it's done. I can't deal with this.
I agree with you too. I agree with you, because then it's like, what am I hoping for? It's like, okay, Jessel and Jenna Lyon stay, everybody else gets fired, and then we have 5 new cast members, and we don't like them either, and it's just the same. I guess you're right. I guess
there's no way they're getting rid of Erin. I feel like Andy's obsessed with her.
They're getting rid of Erin.
You think?
I got it. I know nothing about this, but how could you not make that cut? I mean,
I think that he loves her.
He loved Lisa Rinna, and they gave her the boot. He loved Lisa Rinna more than anyone. That's probably his favorite Bravo celebrity for some reason. He loved her to death. I don't know. I couldn't imagine a cast shakeup and Erin remains, but she was actively detrimental to the show with all of her pranks and horrible fake conflict that she was creating. Oh, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you that she might be on the cusp.
Right. He also said, probably on the same show, that Kyle Richards told him that whatever cast trip they just went on Beverly Hills is the best one since Amsterdam, which I'm also like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yes, I said that as well. But Kyle Richards, was hyping it up also on Amazon Live. She goes, this was the most dramatic thing I've been through since Amsterdam. So that's kind of nice. I mean, I agree with you too. I don't want to be. I always get my hopes up, and then they're completely dashed and shattered. Yeah. But it's nice though that they're even trying to tease out that it might be explosive and fun.
Right. When you just said Erin is detrimental with her pranks and shit, I had to think about that for a second, because I think I've deleted both seasons from the hard drive. When we were driving to the airport yesterday, we were trying to think of, someone was like, who was the girl on Summer House that was dating Jesse? And I could not come up with her name.
That's awesome.
I never landed on it. We had to look it up. I was like, oh yeah, Lexi Wood.
Yeah. No, it actually took me 3 or 4 seconds to be like, wait, who the hell are you talking about?
I was like, Sam? And they were like, no, that was like the one before.
Yeah, you're right. It is, Bravo is sort of a major out of sight, out of mind. My biggest gaffe or horrible like take was I was like, when Monica Garcia was on Salt Lake City, I go, I've had it. I was like, how can you have season 5 without Monica? She's the full show. I love her so much. And it's like, I didn't bat an eye. 5th season was like, hey, it was great. It was up to
the fickle finger of fate.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's interesting because I feel like when we talked about RHONY last week, I think I first of all watched most of Housewives when my brain was in better shape, and I watched it a lot when many times. So it's like locked in, and I'm like afraid that nothing will ever get that treatment ever again. Like, I don't know if I'm even capable.
I agree with you. I'm not going to leave you out on a limb here. I also have noticed how horrible my memory is. I was trying to create potential taglines for the Salt Lake City cast members, and I was struggling to remember even one defining thing from season 5 about them. I was like, what the hell did Meredith do in season 5 of Salt Lake City? I was like, you can leave. I was like, no, that was season 4. It's like, it is sort of recapping in real time. We sort of get it all out and unburden our souls from it as we recap it, and then never think about it again, because I think we're both in a state where not everything we're watching is as iconic as what came before in a way.
Yeah. No, I feel the same with like Sex and the City and stuff. I'm like, I'll never know a show that way again, because I'm never going to watch a new show that many times ever again. Yeah. I don't think.
Gosh, it's sad. Oh my God. Well,
it's all downhill from here.
It really is. I've been really thinking about my mortality a lot as I approach 40. I'm like, oh my God. I'm starting to relate now with all of the older characters on every show. We've talked about this before, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in this position. I used to watch Mad Men, and I was like, I'm Pete Campbell. I got the world by the tail, and I'm running wild.
I was like, I'm Sally Draper.
I was. Yeah, you were Sally Draper. I was barely Pete Campbell. Who am I kidding? I was thinking who's younger than Pete Campbell? I don't even know.
It's like weird little stuff keeps happening where like yesterday I had Uncrustables that I took home from our vacation house that I put in my bag for the plane, and our bartender was like, I used to love these growing up, and I was like, they're a fairly new invention. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what the hell? We've had Uncrustables for so long. Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is really going to keep happening, and as Turtle Time continues to go on for years and years, this is just going to keep ratcheting up this feeling of sort of not knowing anything anymore.
That's why the Housewives need to remain older. Yeah. We can't be younger. Like, also, Paulie, I don't know his last name, but Dolores's boyfriend, he posted a selfie that they're done with Rhode Island, and I totally forgot that she's like fully involved on that show.
I saw that too. And I think I can almost segue naturally to our next topic. They're figuring out, Bravo in their wisdom are like, we have a major turkey on our hands with New Jersey, but we love some of the talent we have. What can we do to keep them in the Bravo tent? Yeah. And so they've got Dolores being the connection to Rhode Island. And then we find out, when I saw this trailer for Wife Swap, Real Housewives Edition that came out today, I go, oh, they figured out what to do with Melissa Gorga. She's been sitting on the sidelines. She's probably writing emails saying, when the hell can I be released from my Bravo contract? Me and Joe want to have a spinoff on TLC called Joe and Melissa, called The Gorgas. Or I don't know. Let me think of a different title. The Gorgas, Melissa and Joe, whatever it would be. And they go, no. We've got Wife Swap, Real Housewives Edition coming for you. Stay in the Bravo tent. And then I was like, oh, that makes sense now. They're creating all of these offshoot shows to keep their talent there while they're on ice on all of these franchises.
Yeah. Do you think, sorry if you can hear that there's a car alarm going off right outside my window. Oh, it just stopped. Okay. Do you think it's going to be one housewife per week? Like, each episode is one swap?
Yeah, well, let's say the premise of this thing, because I was a little confused.
I know that you thought that they were swapping amongst themselves.
Yeah, but why? Okay, so we saw this trailer. We got to talk about it in case somebody didn't see it. It's Melissa Gorga, Wendy.
Who else?
Let me remember who this thing was. It was Emily Simpson.
Yes.
And then lastly, we have, of course, I'll never forget this person. We got Angie K, of course.
Yes. I think that's all.
yeah, it was just it was 4, and they go, we're leaving our husbands. Emily's like, see you later, Shane Simpson. I can't wait for him to have a new wife. And then I thought, yeah, you predicted me what I thought. I said, why not have 8? And they go to, wasn't that 100 times more entertaining than this version where I think they're casted families? Like,
Yeah.
I could have wife swapped.
That's like what the original concept was.
Yeah, but
like
why
normal families?
But if we're already doing, of course, I love that. I love that. I want to adhere to this original concept, but why couldn't, if it's Real Housewives Edition, why don't they take it a step further and make, instead of it being 50% fun of people we know, make it 100% fun? What's the drawback to doing it that way?
They wanted it to be Crappy Lake. Like, they're going to have to live a different kind of lifestyle. And then the regular moms are going to see how glamorous the housewives are and blah, blah, blah. Which also, the trailer ends with Joe Gorga saying, I've been vegan for 48 hours. I can't wait to give you my sausage, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so it's literally 2 days.
He figured out a new way to say how horny he is.
Yeah, he'll never leave her alone.
He's really, I mean, he's got to be. He's one of the most explicitly horny house husbands.
I thought you were going to say explosive. He's filled with poison 24/7.
So what would you? So I didn't know who these other people were because I didn't know.
How could you?
But I agree with you, I guess, that I'm trying to find the thrill of this fish out of water, like you said, concept where it's like, look at me. Emily is going to have to do stuff in Idaho or whatever. But I guess that was just so much less enticing. Maybe I should have read the copy when it debuted a little better. But Emily Simpson did say that she thought that was what she signed up for when she signed up for this show. She commented at that. So I don't know about that show. How do you feel about it?
It looks goofy. It's giving Love Hotel, Crappy Lake, just a little ancillary additional content, nothing monumental, but I think we have to watch it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And they're not allowed to have sex with them, right?
Hey, that would make things interesting. It looked like Joe was having a freaking blast with his mom.
I know. Even when he was filling up with poison, he just used to.
They were like jump roping and shit. And then it looked like everyone by the end was crying, and like some of the kids were crying when the housewives were leaving. Right. So like, you're my mommy now. Yeah,
Angie, like, they were like, Angie, I want you to stay or whatever. And she just rolls up the window on the limo. It was like horrible and sad. But, well, you know what? I've thought I'm sometimes optimistic. Sometimes I'm pessimistic. I got to just stop thinking stuff. This looks good. And I'm excited to watch it with you.
I hope there's a premiere and we get to go.
That would be so awesome. Oh my God, a premiere where they would be like, they'd be like, we have assigned seating or whatever, and they go, we're actually swapping you with different seats to kind of, you know what I mean? It'd be like a fun little game we all have to play. So, well, yeah, I hope we get to go to that. Any other news you want to talk about?
I don't think so. It looked like a lot of Bravo people were doing Emmy shit this weekend, though. Like, Phaedra was on the red carpet interviewing people, which was fun. She got to kind of flirt with Walton.
Yeah, Walton Goggins. Oh my God, yes.
She was like, ooh, hey. And he was like, ah. That's just like her vibe with everyone. She's like, ooh, I like the sound of that.
It was a good interview. Yeah, it was really good. I saw that too. Yeah, they were doing a lot of Emmy stuff.
Yeah, I think Tom Sandoval was at a party, and Stassi went to because there was like a Disney Hulu something or other, and I mean, good for them, I guess.
Me too. I thought the same thing. That was in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah. Did you watch that shit?
Megan had it on, and I kind of
bad.
Really, yeah. I mean, I don't even really like award shows at all.
But they didn't even try.
Yeah, I do have to give them credit for that boys and girls meter going up and down. I'm
choking. It was so bad.
John Oliver he goes, I'm giving him a lot of money to Boys and Girls Club. He made his speech really short, and then some people were taking hundreds of thousands of dollars to finish their speeches because they didn't care.
Why do they like want to torture people for like winning a prize? Like, can we all just like fucking relax?
Well, remember after what's his name's shameful speech at the Oscars, Adrian Brody's absolutely shameful 10-minute speech. They knew they couldn't have an Adrian Brody on their hands.
I know,
so
but then there were other parts of the show that were such shit that I'm like, if you just cropped that out, everyone could have given a 2-minute speech.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I don't even care about how to fix it. You know what I mean? I mean, like,
I think
all
it's
credit
also
to them, but
there's like no water cooler shows. Like I was like didn't know what half of the shit was, and I consider myself pretty with it. And I was like, haven't watched any of this shit except The Pit. I was happy that it swept, but like there wasn't like usually, you know, when it used to be like Sopranos, Sex and the City, Mad Men. Like I guess there was like the freaking Chef.
Chef. Oh,
yes, Chef.
Yes,
the Bear.
Chef.
Like we already did that. I feel like we've already done like Hacks. Like we've already like done that shit. So it's like, what are we talking about now?
Yeah, I mean, it's just time to admit it. Television is pure shit right now, and
yeah,
water
now
cooler
Paramount's
shows.
Gonna buy Warner Brothers. It's gonna get even worse.
Yeah, well, it's a horrible state of entertainment. But thankfully we have these wonderful Bravo shows to keep us sort of busy. Instead of watching that other stuff, right?
Bravo is prestige.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we? I think probably, I guess, news was covered.
Ski over to Salt Lake.
Yeah, let's talk about Salt Lake. I gotta share some thoughts with you up front before they get lost in the weeds or the forest, so to speak. I was sort of like, kind of like, what the hell is going on here? I was taken aback. I was like, I mean, if I was wearing a monocle or some sort of, if I was clutching my pearls, I was just like, what the hell is going on here? Tell me, please. It should have had a note to say up front, like, here is what happened to make this your premiere episode. Because I found it to be sort of mind-boggling. I mean, and I hate to say this word. It's one of the most, like, disgraceful, awful words to utter. But I found some parts of it to be extremely fake.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of parts of it to be very, very FAKE.
Yeah, I thought of you at Wolf. There was a big moose on the wall that had a monocle, and I was like, I bet his monocle fell off when he watched this.
That would be so funny if every time somebody did a shot ski, his mouth opened like wide and a monocle fell down, and then some person had to put it back up and close his mouth every time. Yeah, no, I was aghast.
Yeah, I have to say, I watched this last night after getting home from doing shot skis every day for like 4 days. So I was a little like in a haze. And but yeah, I was very surprised that it started immediately with travel.
Well, yeah. So I think the explanation for this is hopefully that when Lisa Barlow's contract negotiations, you remember that?
Yeah.
There was a little whispers that she wasn't signing on for the first week. There was some dispute. They try to cover it by saying it's some Ben Affleck related business decision or something. I do think that there was some excuse, a real excuse for why Lisa didn't join the show and they had to start filming. And I think they wanted to condense the Lisa-less season. Into one episode. Maybe they filmed a week or two before this and they were like, this shit fucking sucks. What's going on here? We have such a void without Lisa. So let's just ramp up, start filming now, and we'll talk about Lisa. And then Lisa is going to appear a day later, next episode. So this is sort of like maybe a huge shoehorned event to start the season after 2 scrapped weeks of filming, and that's why it felt so jarring. I mean, it actually made me realize why the first episode sort of need to be slow to sort of get you inundated with what's been going on, because this was just shocking to be put on this camper trip immediately. And then I want to say, this whole video camera Blair Witch shit is one of the oddest, weirdest, lamest things I've ever seen to sort of give this season a sort of thrilling beginning, when they're pretending like the Blair Witch of Provo Canyon is taking them to her lair at the end and pretending to be scared, and it's actually shown as if it's a to be continued, like they're about to get murdered.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I mean, they put it on Britney's shoulders to hand out these cameras, and I'm like, they just like got those shipped from Amazon, and they were like, Britney, come over here, and they're like, tell them you brought these cameras because we want to do this motif. Thank you.
Yeah, and I realize now every Salt Lake City sort of has a sort of like motif, like a recording element or a surveillance element or something, and they're trying to uphold the legacy of that. But this one is like the worst case, version of that, in my opinion. I mean, so let's get into it. But
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I mean, and then Heather's like fake ghost story. I was like, oh my God. I mean, if she just says, hey, I was lying this whole time, next week, I'll be like, okay, great. But like to treat it like it's actually this, this thrilling, mysterious element was kind of weird.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, there was also a prank that was fake, but I guess that's allowed.
I mean, I say, Whitney, were you not watching RHONY? We talked about how pranks are horrible. What the hell? So it starts out with the Blair Witch video, and I immediately got the sense of Blair Witch before it even goes bad, because it just kind of looked like Heather Donahue's recordings from the 1999 film Blair Witch, and she goes, true friendship is sacred. Mary says this, true friendship is sacred, but when trust leaves the body, all hell breaks loose. And then it shows Heather going, ah! And they're screaming and running, and it's black and white, and trees are falling. And I was just like, oh my God, how real are we supposed to believe this is?
Wow, maybe we should watch Blair Witch as like a twofer. I haven't seen it in a long time. You seem very familiar.
Oh, Blair Witch is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love
Really?
it. I was, oh my God. It hit when I was in like 8th grade, I think, or something. And I went to camp, and my camp counselors were putting little Blair Witch stick figures all around our cabins, and we were screaming.
So scary. I was too young. It was like, I couldn't even begin to see that movie.
Yeah, I wonder how old I really was in 1999. I don't know any way. Probably 12.
Okay.
And I was reading the Blair Witch dossier that came out.
My God.
If there are any Turtle Time listeners that had Blair Witch, like sort of, were sort of in that Blair Witch mood with me, I was reading the dossier. They pretended the whole thing was real, which is so fun.
Yeah.
To me. So I got that. I got what they were trying to do. And Heather even recreates one of the scenes where they talk about the legend. She asks a person handling the fire about if they know the legend of Molly Sorensen or whatever, which is a direct ripoff of Blair Witch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a scene exactly like that. So let's go through this shit. You know what? I do want to say that I remember the premiere. I do remember one thing about season 5 where I did remember the premiere being horrible.
Okay.
And then it was just that like dinner, and it sucked, and it came out of nowhere. And then the rest of the season was amazing. So I still have high hopes that it gets back in order once Lisa Barlow comes back. But again, bad premiere in my opinion.
Yeah. So Angie pulls up in an RV to Mary's, which I have to say is shocking. That was not on my, so they call it bingo card, that Angie can drive an RV.
Yeah. Well, she does have Teague also, but yeah, she's doing some of the driving for sure. And her and Sean, I guess, got this thing 3 years ago to participate in sort of RV life, as she says.
Love that for them. But yeah, there's this whole thing where they're tricking the ladies into, they think they're going on some luxury vacation. So they're like, wait for us outside of Beauty Lab, which I'm like, why is this like the thing where, I mean, I guess it was all for the bit to force them to meet up outside of Beauty Lab, because I'm like, why do they keep just like meeting up in this parking lot?
I have no clue. It's like it's an ode to the legacy of this show, I guess. But this all feels like it was a last minute trip, because to the point where Angie doesn't even know what the hell is happening. She didn't buy any groceries for it. She doesn't know where the actual campsite is. I just think that, I don't know, I just felt like the producers, fingerprints all over this thing. And I didn't understand this part. Yeah, would you have been tricked by this flyer? Bikinis, boots, blessings?
I mean, I wouldn't have predicted that it was an RV camping trip.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't have, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I would have thought. I would have thought that I would have thought the possibility that I was going to be tricked when they said meet outside of Beauty Lab.
Brittany wore a bikini top under her jacket, which it felt like, I don't know what they knew, but obviously Whitney thought there was going to be some sort of a scenario in which case she could call this prank to what turned out to be an RV. But I'm like, what if it was just like they got in Ubers and went to the airport?
That's
like,
what
how
I
is like strippers going to work?
I know. I didn't understand it at all. I said, what? Well, first of all, I didn't. Again, they pretend. All of them did not think that the SWAT team was surrounding their RV. There was not 1 second where I sensed any real fear or shock. They were all like acting their asses off. No offense. I feel bad saying this. But they knew that something was coming. And then, yeah, I didn't understand. What would Whitney have done if this had been a more traditional trip? They didn't even have any room to strip in front of her. Did she want them to just strip in the parking lot and surround them without a vehicle? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, I mean, I feel like they would have cut this prank, potentially, because it led to nothing at all. It was very out of place.
Yeah. I will say there were a few like Mary Cosby laugh moments throughout. Like Brittany still makes me laugh. So you have the quality of the goofy characters, I think, still prop it up. But yeah, there was like no real reason for the season throughout. You just kind of had to enjoy the women.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I love this cast more than anything. I mean, I think it's my favorite cast. Every single one of them is great. It's just like this is the hand they were dealt. Something is going on with Lisa that's a fourth wall break that they didn't want to discuss, and they had to sort of toe around it, or whatever, the tiptoe around what the actual rationale was. They immediately sort of say they don't know where they're going. I don't think Angie actually knows where they are going. I think that it was just sent to her Provo Canyon campsite. And then immediately, pretty quickly, Whitney and Brittany get into a fight over Lisa, because Brittany has now become very aligned with Lisa, which it's kind of fun. Like Lisa Barlow's like, I'd love a new ally. This is perfect for me. And so Brittany's really defending her, and they have sort of a back and forth where Brittany says something about Whitney's business. She says Lisa's not on a trip with Ben Affleck and Blake Lively, which was the excuse.
What is that? Like the town 10-year reunion?
That's all I could think of. I was like, is the town 10-year reunion, or maybe 12-year reunion happening that Lisa Barlow is doing the Vita Tequila sort of sponsorship for?
Maybe 15-year.
15-year the town. Ben Affleck and Blake Lively and who else is in that film are getting together. Jeremy
John
Renner.
Hamm.
Holy shit. Major cast. And maybe Sundance is always happening right around this time. Maybe Sundance was putting up a huge... speaking of Sundance, rest in peace, Robert Redford. He started Sundance. Sorry.
You were just disparaging him.
I know. I always disparage people right before they pass away. It's so horrible. I think Robert Redford was a wonderful actor. I'm so sorry that he's passed.
Great filmography.
Yeah. There's some great...
That's not up for debate.
All the President's Men.
You're like, I'll leave it there.
Oh, tell me some other heavy hitters. All Is Lost, I heard is good.
His directing efforts count as well. Ordinary People.
Oh, right. I've never seen that. Maybe I haven't seen some of his heavy hitters.
Oh my God.
Really?
You
all right.
have to watch it.
All right. Well, I didn't come here today. I actually was the one who said rest in peace, Robert Redford. Because Sundance, I think, if I'm remembering this book that I read correctly, he started Sundance. I don't remember
That's true.
facts off the cuff. But anyway, so I think I didn't even think of this. But yeah, the town is having its 15th year anniversary special.
Hosted by Lisa Barlow.
That's a huge get for Lisa Barlow, but I think she's masking the true reason, which is that she wants to be paid $100,000 more than the rest of the cast for some reason. Which will create animosity. It's kind of like Heather Dubrow creating animosity with her cast. It's like, you do stuff like that, they are going to hate you, and it's going to reveal itself on the show. I don't know why she would do that. Her and Heather should get paid the same.
Right. Yeah. Whitney is like, I doubt she's working. And Brittany's like, why did you say that? She works very hard. Like, what do you mean? She's like, speak for yourself. And she's like, your business is the one that's getting called out online left and right. And they show a headline, which I think we talked about it, but there was some like MLM accusations about Whitney Rose.
I tried to read it up. I tried to read it and see what the hell they're talking about. It was like Reality T and saltlake.com said MLM scheme. It says TikTok calls out MLM scheme. I think Whitney, in addition to Wild Rose Beauty, which is a company I love, they had a thing called Soul People, and it was like an influencer marketing thing where you could like pay a huge premium package to get tips or something. It did sound like a horrible business model, and it was called out for being like a sort of a scam in a way.
Yeah.
And then I read that like Wild Rose folded into Soul People, and then I don't know any business shit. This is like a better podcast would do such a good job. Business shit podcast. But apparently that really affected, I think, even Wild Rose Beauty when that thing folded. And so she's in dire straits, in which she tells us later in this episode that the business is completely fucked.
Kaput. Yeah, she gets pissed because we find out that she's totally screwed. And she's like, how do you make your money, Brittany, sucking dick?
Yeah, she did say that. She's like, she's trying to. Wasn't a good comeback, I don't think.
Yeah. But I feel like all of the fights on this episode don't last very long. Like, you're kind of like, all right, next. Like, they're all like, I don't like. Everyone has beef with someone, and they're all kind of just like, well, we're in close quarters, so we'll move on. They land at this shitty campsite, which, like, I like camping, and it just looks like not even a good campsite.
Yeah, there was a bus that was just like up on its nose, just like standing in sort of a big field. And they, speaking of, I guess, fish out of water, they were like, wouldn't it be funny if they sort of went to a kind of shitty, I mean, no offense to that Provo Canyon campsite. I liked a lot of it. Some of it looked beautiful, but they were kind of, as they were coming in, they were like, oh, there's an outhouse there. There's a bus standing on its edge. There's a bicycle in the trees.
Yeah.
And so it did look, they admit at one point, they say this kind of looks like a haunted campsite.
Right. Just shitty for no reason. Also, like, not really a great season for camping. It's like very cold. They sit down for sandwiches. They're chatting. This is where Brittany gives everyone their own camcorder. And then they start talking shit about Lisa having money issues. Bronwyn sort of leads the charge on this. She's like, I've seen that there's at least 5 different lawsuits. It was in the Salt Lake Tribune.
Yeah, and we've talked about the Salt Lake Tribune before. That's one of the most reputable newspapers, especially in Salt Lake. And they admitted that there's a lot of people that are trying to take down Lisa Barlow. And I don't know what, I didn't look it all into it, but it looked like they were like, Lisa owes me this. Like, she pulled out of the 14th anniversary of the town anniversary that she was supposed to sponsor, and it was just people, suing the shit out of John and Lisa. So Bronwyn brings it up, and then if I remember correctly, Angie goes, at one point she goes, hey, Heather, because Heather's sort of like, I never see this stuff. I don't get the Salt Lake Tribune. I don't look at TikTok. I don't go on Twitter. It's like, kind of like, what are you talking about? Of course, everyone knows. You get sent this every day of your life that Lisa has lawsuits or whatever. And Angie goes, some might say that this is exactly what Jen Shaw did, Heather. And Heather goes, what the hell are you talking about, Angie? She can't believe that Angie said that. And what I was confused about is like, what the hell is going on with Angie and Lisa? I know they hated each other because she said Sean does circle jerks last season, but they showed Lisa on the phone talking to Angie and giving her excuse. It started out as if they were friends. And then Angie's calling her the worst sin you can ever say on this franchise, which is that you are like Jen Shaw, Angie says. So I'm kind of confused.
But it was all weird and cut up. And like, she was almost smiling while she said it. And then she immediately calls it a bad joke. So it was just weird. Like, she was like, oops, bad joke. And so when they kept fighting about it, I was like, she didn't even mean it. So who cares?
I guess a bit for me, that was the most sort of like huge claim that Angie made, like the most like salacious thing you could say about Lisa Barlow. Like, I guess she did say at one point, she was like, I guess I said that wrong or something. But you're right, it was all completely sloppy as hell, this whole part. And it doesn't help that they're all like filming on video cameras at the same time, like getting a bunch of different angles of what's going on. And then Heather does say, hey, Bronwyn, speaking of shit that is bad, what about you lying about that $4 million necklace that you said you had at the reunion?
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, you're right. I shouldn't have been so cutesy about it. I was trying to protect myself and the jeweler. And in her confessional, she's like, wow, like I risked my integrity to try and be cool. Which, yeah, it was weird at the time. I mean, first of all, I was like, they are not that rich, so I never for a second thought he was buying that shit. And
I know.
It's a weird thing to lie about.
It really is. She says, she goes, I knew I wasn't going to buy this necklace, but I made the girls believe that I had it. Then I was going to buy a different necklace and hope they didn't know the difference. That is, in effect, lying. And I go, yeah, no shit. It's one of the biggest lies I've ever seen in my life. It's a huge lie. You lied in probably the biggest way I've ever seen. Bravo celebrities have been caught in small lies. Craig was lying his ass off, and Southern Charm, he got busted majorly. But this is a huge lie. You lied about having a $4 million necklace at the reunion.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. And her reaction to it was really odd and weird to me.
Her lying kind of reminds me of Katie on OC, where like she was new and she was just trying to figure out how to play the game, and then kind of fucked up on, like, misstepped on using lying, you know, like trying to use it as like power. And it's like, no, that doesn't actually work out.
Yeah, you're like, can I lie on this show? And they're
Can
like,
I do
no.
that?
Am I allowed to lie about stuff? It's like, no. No, yeah, so it was kind of funny. And that was a huge, obviously, my biggest question mark after last season was, when will she get her comeuppance for lying? She gets it immediately. I mean, Heather really calls her out for her, and she does a full mea culpa. She says, yeah, you know, I didn't even think, bat an eye at buying that thing.
Okay, and then Brittany gets up and clinks her wine and is like, I have an announcement. Me and Jared got engaged. And they're all like, what the hell? Seriously? Is this real? And she's like, it's real. And she goes, and then we got unengaged. And they're all like,
Yeah, it's a classic Britney toast that kind of lands like a thud, which she did 4 of them last season. She did it again. And yeah, you know, her and Jared have this tumultuous relationship, a lot of ups and downs. They went from pushing him in a Walmart cart last year with a bag of I think chips on her head, and then now they're out of a relationship again very quickly in the offseason. Jared is definitely someone who's interested in fame, and he loves this. And I think that then Brittany said that their children were a little worried at how sort of on and off again this relationship seemed. So that's how they got unengaged again.
Right.
But then Whitney does say, I think Brittany says, but we are still lovingly committed to each other, and I want to be a part of the Osmond family at some point. And then Whitney goes, then why the hell is he going to Lifestyle Cafe on dates and going to the gym and not even stepping foot on a machine?
Yeah, she's like, I see him at the gym seeming very single, never even on a machine, and getting the chicken salad at the Lifetime Cafe?
Lifetime Cafe, yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Jared, I think, is having... I'll say the word sex, probably with other people, and is not fully committed to Brittany at this point.
Potentially at the gym.
Yeah, he might be having sex at the gym. All right, for me personally, the activities was kind of the most like, I mean, what do you really say? Fishing, canoe.
I did enjoy Mary. She kept mishearing the guy's name, who was Dusty, as Gusty, and she kept asking Gusty if you could, in fact, resuscitate a fish. And she kept going on about how you could give him CPR using like a certain beats per minute. And she's like, you can't bring him back? She's like, I don't think that's right. I think you can. And it was a funny Mary moment, to add to the montage.
Oh, for sure. And Mary was, she was laughing. I mean, she was finding it funny that she was saying this kind of stuff. It was really a testament to Mary's humor for sure. And
Yeah.
Gusty did say, he was like, I'm sorry, once you kill it, I can't bring it back to life. But Mary
I'm
was
not
sort of
God.
yeah.
I will say that I'll give her a recognition that imagine Mary of seasons past ever entertaining being on a trip like this. Like, she's eating like a plain untoasted bagel at one point, and I'm like, she would never do any of the activities before. Like, she wouldn't get off the bus on that one time. Like, she just skipped the trips. Like, she just didn't want to do anything, and now she's like fully committed.
Yes, I mean, she's, I think, really enjoying now the Bravo spotlight, and she's found a way that it works for her. I think she's had so many iconic moments. Remember when she was peeking in that place and she couldn't get in the room or whatever, and everybody loved that. So I think she's
bat mitzvah.
Totally. Yeah, the bat mitzvah. So she just enjoys it more, and she's in a better place. I remember last year, Andy was saying, like, Mary, you seem like fresh and fun. And she goes, I am. I'm loving life.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then Heather does have a little bit of a bonding moment with Bronwyn. I don't remember what makes them bond, but it's kind of just like, remember we were like last season, we're like, Heather and Bronwyn would be friends.
Right.
There's just some weird things that Bronwyn does, like lie about $4 million necklaces that's keeping Heather at a distance, but they have a little bit of a bonding on the canoe.
Kayaking brings them together. And then Angie tries to stir the pot a little bit and is like, do you feel like you would have bonded if Lisa was here, because you can't be yourself when she's around? And Heather gets kind of pissed. And then they talk about like Whitney is like, I have issues with Lisa too, still from last season. And then Brittany, in classic Brittany fashion, is like, what about when you said earlier that I suck dick? And everyone's like, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, they said Brittany's timing is horrible. And then that's also when Whitney says that her business is failing. And then that's when Brittany has full sympathy. She's like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm mean and can do cool shit like send barbs back and forth. She goes, Whitney, I'm so sorry I said that. And then tries to give Whitney a hug, and Whitney is not receptive at all.
She's like, no thanks.
But all the while, also, I wanted to say, while they're in this campfire environment, Heather is kind of cooking up a big fake legend in this instance about this. She says it multiple times, this Molly Sorensen ghost that eats people, a fundamentalist Mormon that would lure girls that wanted to make out, and she would say, you're a sinner, and she would sacrifice them to her God. And I looked this up because I love legends. I would love if, like, the Miller Cave ghost, I was like going, oh my God, this is one of the best ghosts I've ever heard in my life. This one has no basis in fact. I've looked it up. I've been searching every sort of browser I know, Safari, Chrome, and there's no legend of Molly Sorensen. The only horrible, sad story is that a woman named Molly Sorensen did die when a tree fell on her in Provo Canyon. It's a really sad, horrible story. And it's like, of all the names she chose, she looked up like one tragedy, very sad story. And I was just so bummed that this is like a full fake garbage story.
I kept trying to look it up, and I thought that I was like spelling it wrong or something because nothing was coming up, and then I just gave up.
No, I know. No, I kept searching. I was like Robert Langdon at the Library of Prague. I was like, how the hell can I get to the bottom of this shit?
The Great Library of Prague.
I sent you a library in Prague. I forget what its name was. It was in this New York Times article. I forget what it's called. It's a beautiful library. It's called It's called I don't know. It's called like
Prague Books.
It's called Prague Books. But I just want to blame Heather for a second, because Heather's my favorite cast member. I cherish her and cherish Lisa. Those are my two favorite, by the top of the charts. I love them both, but I do not like when sometimes Heather acts as a producer puppet. And this was just, she was gleeful as she was making up this thing. At one point, she goes, "I got to tell you guys again about the legend of Molly Sorensen," and she doesn't even remember the right name. I watched her stumble on it. She doesn't even remember what fake name she used when she said this thing. So,
and she asked the camper guy, she's like, do you know what I'm talking about? And he's like, totally.
Yeah, and Blair Witch heads will be remembering exactly the scene where Heather goes in right next to a river and asks the locals about the legend of Blair Witch, and they do the exact same thing. They go, yeah, we hear screaming and little kids laughing and giggling. So, they're trying their own little sort of Blair Witch
Yes.
rendition.
Yes. But yeah, Whitney, she gets real. She says like her business legit failed. She had to fire 30 people. She said that Justin went all in with her, so now they have nothing. And I'm like, damn, like that's brutal. I wonder, I mean, I feel like housewives businesses fail all the time, but usually I feel like they haven't invested that much.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's it's so horrible, and I wish Justin hadn't invested all this money. And remember, he did this. I'm only laughing because I do remember that unfortunately Justin did get let go when a couple people
Right.
turned on Bravo one night and they saw Justin naked, covered in paint, having sex with
I'm
Whitney.
surprised someone didn't hire him based on that.
Seriously, and there's a world in which, what do they say, John Hamm in Mad Men, I forget his character's name. He says
It all comes back around.
He says if they're talking about something you don't want to talk about, change the conversation. And I really think Whitney and Justin could have changed the conversation and created a paint by numbers kit or something called Whitney. Or like Whitney and Justin paint or sex paint therapy or whatever. They could have leaned into this thing instead of letting Justin get fired. But this is
but yeah, they all give her a pep talk. Like, Heather's like, I had so many failures before Beauty Lab. Angie's like, it is brave to be an entrepreneur. Like, they all rally around her and are like, you will learn from these mistakes and come out stronger.
She's like, we've all had our L's, but we never talk about them. We only embrace our wins, and it's a rallying moment. Heather's so good at creating rallying, moments to talk about the camaraderie and friendship between them.
True. And then I don't even know how it happens, but Meredith and Brittany get into it, and Meredith is like, I hate you. I don't even know you. And Brittany's like, I thought we were good friends. She's like, I've literally never even talked to you on the phone. She's like, yes, you have. And she's like, once. And she's like, twice.
Yeah, she goes, and we did go to lunch, I guess, once also. But Meredith, that's again, I wish Brittany hadn't blown it with Meredith, because I think Meredith would start to really enjoy Brittany's company. I mean, can't you just say she's fun?
Right. No, Meredith is like so standoffish. Like, I feel like she needs to have a Mary moment where she starts to feel fancy free in the housewives environment. It's like, you're getting paid to be here. Just have some fun, like relinquish control and just like fuck around a little bit. She's very like on the sidelines,
Yeah, well, Lisa being, her only true ally, I think, really was a detriment to her on this trip. She's like, I hate these people. And she's like, I can't wait for Next Gen NYC to start filming again, so me and Seth can be back on that. But you're right. She does feel like she's phoning it in.
Totally.
On this trip.
Yeah. And then, it just ends with total scream cam, which, by the way, I wish I almost went and saw The Conjuring in 4DX.
Whoa.
But it only ran...
That smell or motion?
Not smell. But yeah, it like rips you up and like flings you around like a demon is shaking you by the shoulders.
That's awesome. If it was smell, it'd be like
the
Patrick
stench
Wilson
of Satan.
Patrick Wilson would be like, oh my God, there's a bunch of garbage over there. Yeah.
But now, because they only run 4DX movies for like a week for some reason, there's like a big competition, I guess. And I didn't get to see The Conjuring because now they're showing 4DX Dogma Resurrected, a 25th anniversary celebration.
Dogma, the movie that that I think is a Kevin Smith film.
Yeah.
You know where all that money is going?
Where?
To Rikers Island, to Harvey Weinstein. He's the one.
I thought he carved it out somehow.
Oh, he did?
I thought he got it back.
Oh, Kevin Smith did. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. The last I heard Harvey on every single phone call out of Rikers, he was saying, I got to sell Dogma. It's burning a hole in my pocket. I need money.
We have to look into this because I will not see the version of Dogma where your chair rattles.
I don't even know what I remember there's a big, I had the biggest, I don't even like to admit it, but like when I was 16, 17, I was like one of the biggest Kevin Smith heads in my life.
That's who it was for.
Yeah, I know. Dogma still owned by Harvey. I'll look that up because what a lie if I just... No. Sorry. You were right. Harvey was able to get Kevin Smith on the phone. He sold the rights, and now Dogma Resurrected is not owned by Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
So someone just
maybe I should buy a ticket just to throw Kevin a bone.
Oh, totally. Kevin is loving having the rights back to Dogma. But I can't even imagine what they're going to do in Dogma that's going to be sort of spin-worthy.
I know. It's like I'm almost so curious that I want to see, but I saw videos of The Conjuring and I was like, that looks wild.
I can't even imagine like the demons in the what would it be? A lot of shaking, I assume.
Yeah,
right?
like everyone was just like, ah!
Or a good one would be he's levitating all the objects in the room, and then you sort of go higher on your chair, right? Oh my God. I thought you said that they stopped doing it after Twister because the seats just kept spinning so fast in circles, like you're in a tornado. Didn't you say they stopped it?
No, the Twisters convinced everyone that they should do it even more, including me. Although AMC doesn't own or license 4DX, so if I do that, I have to pay out of pocket, which hurts. As an
right.
A-lister.
So you'd have to. I see. Okay, so they got a little carve out, just like Harvey, where 4DX is not a part of your A-list experience.
No, I'd have to go to Regal, which only has Pepsi, so double hurts.
Oh boy, gosh, Regal's really. Oh my God, I went to a Regal for Eddington. It was seriously. I felt like I was in Eddington going there. It was so awful.
I feel like I'm in Eddington every day.
Yeah, I'm a little more prescient than you'd think. Not to speak on anything. Well, we already talked about how shitty that ending. We kind of covered it, right? It's really shitty. They pretend within 5 seconds that they are lost, and they're doing the up camera. I'm so lost. The witch is going to kill me. Molly's coming for us, and it's just like. Unless
like,
they say,
I don't have my phone. I'm scared. Let's go back.
Like, is your prediction that they're going to say we really were scared for a second, or are they going to say, "Ha ha, that was funny when we recreated a scary moment. We're kind of silly."
Right.
What do you think they're going to do? Are they going to play this as real, like they were scared?
Right.
Or or is it not just something to think about?
Yeah, I don't think it's that deep. I bet there will be like a little spook, like where like they're like, gotcha, like and then they play it off and then they leave.
All right. Well, I'm hung up on this, obviously. So, Turtle Time listeners, if I just should have been like, close one eye and been like, what's happening? This is kind of funny and silly. But the way they were treating it, I felt like it was like a cliffhanger. Like, is the cast of Salt Lake City going to get sacrificed
die?
Yeah, by the Legend of Provo Canyon, Molly Sorensen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was goofy. I kind of was just like, fine, I'll give you a pass for the first one, and then we got to get down to business.
Okay, so it was supposed to be goofy, maybe.
I think so.
All right, great. well, yeah. I like we already said, I love this cast. I have all the faith in the world in them. Love them all individually. Love them as a group. Can't wait for Lisa to be back. I felt the deep lack of Lisa Barlow in this episode. She's kind of, and you could tell because they're just talking about Lisa the entire time.
Right. Yeah, she's definitely the fan favorite. I have faith. I'm excited about Grease. There's something where they're dressed as founding fathers. They do a below deck thing with Captain Jason. So we have some stuff to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. They recreate that one of those early Greek plays we already talked about.
Yeah.
I think it's Anticholes or
Anticholes. The tickle god.
Oh my God. I love Greek mythology. I don't know which play they're going to pull out of their ass. All right. All right. Well, you know what? Tuesdays just got a whole. Oh, sorry. No. Tuesdays got better for Bravo shows, but Wednesdays just got a whole lot better on Turtle Time.
Yeah.
You saw we were doing McBee.
As you saw today.
As you can clearly see, Turtle Time Wednesdays just got a hell of a lot better. Now that we're talking about Salt Lake City, that's a true, speaking of fan favorite, Salt Lake City is a fan favorite. Maybe we'll get some listeners that have you said it's the one show that appeals to non-Bravo people. Please, please take us with give us a little bit of, what's that called? Don't think too deeply about this episode, but
don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, leave some bathwater in there. We'll talk about a lot of different stuff about Salt Lake City.
Oh, this is the last thing I'll say since you mentioned McBee. I sent you a video that soybean farmers are like freaking out right now. So I think season 3 is going to be tasty.
I saw it. I think so too. Yeah, there's a huge sort of issue now, and a lot of the soybeans haven't yielded very much at all, and so Cole's going to be sort of pulling his hair out. I also saw Mick B. This is a little Mick B exclusive from their podcast. Cole admitted that when he talked about doing that sexual act with Kala when he was really drunk, you remember when Kala was dancing?
Yeah.
He goes, I was so drunk, I meant to say if my girlfriend who was here in front of me would have her arse, I'll just say, in my face, that I would do this.
That would appeal to me.
That would appeal to me.
Separately.
And so he completely misspoke, Cole said. So,
sure.
All right, should we put our Turtle Time listeners out of their misery, Amy? What do you think?
Yeah, go free into the wind. We'll be back for OC and
Miami, right?
That's right.
Friday's just got a hell of a lot better with Turtle Time. OC in Miami, and then now our Wednesday's episodes are amazing as well.
Yeah.
So we're fully good.
Yeah, and as I know you didn't get enough today, so if you want to join us an extra time a week, come join us on Patreon. We talk about vintage Vanderpump. We just added a movie tier. We're going to post any minute now about asking which movie you should have us watch. So sign up and vote. Yeah. And listen to that too. If
you were scared by this episode and it kind of gave your little Halloween thrill, to you, then you imagine what's going to happen in October for our movie month, when you get a look at these movies that Amy and I might recap. It's going to be kind of wild.
Totally. Otherwise, rate and review. We love you. We'll be better next time. Wolf broke my brain, I think.
Let's have a fourth wall break. I didn't think it was that bad. Was I really bad?
I'm just I am not living in reality right now.
I think you did a wonderful job. I think you kept me at bay a little bit.
Okay,
well, let us know, Turtle Time listeners. Who was don't
who
say
was worse.
Don't say that, but just say you don't have to say anything. Just no bad reviews. All right, we love y'all. Talk to you soon. We'll be back for Friday's episode, which is going to be really good. Bye.
Bye.